Welcome, ladies and gentlemen. Before you is the leadership of Informal Sector Workers Association. Today, we want to issue a policy brief regarding labor export and economic leakage versus industrialization, a policy imperative for Kenya's economic future. But before we proceed with the policy paper, we are going to do the introductions, then I'll read the policy statement.
Ali from Marsabit County.
I'm Frederick from Naunti County.
Frederick from Trans Nzoia County.
Crispin from Basa.
Okay, thank you very much. We are very much concerned as the informal sector about the labor exports to the Middle East, which has very serious economic implications. So the policy paper is in regards to imperative for Kenya's economic future. Executive summary of this paper. Kenya is at a pivotal point where its policy on labor migration intersect critically with its industrial development ambitions. While labor export has generated significant foreign remittances, over 650 billion to be precise, concerns persist about the long-term implications if not balanced with robust industrial growth. In economics, this imbalance is described as an economic leakage. This is a situation where human capital and productivity flow outward, leaving domestic industry weak. This policy brief examines the issues within the frameworks of Vision 2030 and the bottom-up economic transformation agenda, commonly referred to as BETA, assessing its impact on Kenya's informal sector and broader economic trajectory. Background and economic context. Kenya's unemployment rate remains high, with nearly 5 million youths either underemployed or jobless. That is according to Kenya National Bureau of Statistics report of 2024. The government's growing emphasis on labor export agreements with Gulf, European, and North American countries serves as a short-term remedy. Meanwhile, the manufacturing sector's GDP share stagnates at 7.8%, far below Vision 2030's 20% target, as is contained in the medium-term plan number 4 of 2023 to 2027. This dual trajectory of a rising labor export and stagnant industrialization poses structural economic risks similar to patterns seen in Philippines and Nepal, where remittances dependency slowed domestic production and fostered economic vulnerability. Conversely, South Korea and Malaysia integrated migration policy with industrial growth by reinventing remittances into skills development, infrastructure, and small, medium enterprises financing. The analysis. We have analyzed the economic leakage, informal sector impact, and the industrial weaknesses and microeconomic risks. In regards to economic leakage, unregulated labor export causes brain drains and weakens local productivity, while remittances enhance consumption. Without strategic investment frameworks, they fail to build domestic capital or innovation. On informal sector impact, over 83% of Kenyans work in the informal sector. That's according to Kenya National Bureau of Statistics report of 2024. Remittances improve household spending but rarely fund enterprise growth. Limited access to credit and fragmented value chains block transformation, undermining bottom-up economic transformation agenda's goal of grassroots empowerment. Industrial growth and linkages. Industrial expansion is essential for job creation and absorbing returning migrants. Weak industrialization forces continual outward migration, sustaining dependency circles. Agro-processing, textiles, and light manufacturing must anchor job creation. Number D, macroeconomic risks. Dependence on remittances exposes Kenya to global shocks. For example, Sri Lanka's over-reliance on Gulf remittances worsened its fiscal crisis when remittances inflows fell. Kenya faces similar exposure without diversified domestic production. Alignment with Vision 2030 and bottom economic transformation agenda. On Vision 2030, the goal of becoming newly industrialized middle-income country by 2030 is threatened by weak manufacturing output. Vision 2030 demands rapid value addition, industrial clustering, and export diversification, all incompatible with excessive labor export. Bottom-up economic transformation agenda. The bottom-up economic transformation agenda identifies micro, small, and medium enterprises and county-based value chains as key engines of inclusive growth. Labor export can complement bottom-up economic transformation agenda if remittances and skills are reinvested locally. KIPRA report of 2024 projects 1.7 million jobs by 2027 if industrial linkages are strengthened. On comparative insights and global lessons, in Philippines, 10% of GDP is derived from external remittances, but there is persistent industrial stagnation. Now they are reforming to link diaspora capital to local industry. In Nepal, heavy remittances dependency without local job creation led to rural poverty circles. In Korea and Malaysia converted labor export earnings into industrial investment and micro and small enterprises development, achieving middle income transition. In Sri Lanka, remittances reliance without manufacturing growth deepened foreign exchange crisis. Ladies and gentlemen, on policy recommendations by Informal Sector Workers Association is that on diaspora industrial investment framework, there is a need to create a structured platform linking diaspora funds to industrial parks and MSME clusters. Institutional circular migration. There is need to develop reintegration programs aligning returnees' skills with industrial employment. Number 3, industrialize the informal sector. There is need to channel remittances into MSME financing using tax breaks and matching funds. On the acceleration of industrial infrastructure, there is need to expand affordable energy, logistics, and ICT to lower production costs and attract investors. On governance and accountability, there is need to establish a monitoring unit under the Ministry of Labor to track remittances flows, diaspora investments, and industrial uptake. In conclusion, ladies and gentlemen of the press, as Vision 2030's deadline nears, Kenya must harmonize labor export with industrialization. Failure to do so risks replicating the pitfalls of remittances dependent economies. Integrating migration policy with domestic manufacturing, micro and small enterprises growth, and skills transfer will transform labor mobility into national productivity. Every Kenyan worker abroad should become an industrial ambassador, catalyzing investment, innovation, and inclusive growth. Thank you. We have Mr. Frederick, our county coordinator of Trans Nzoia, to make some observations.
Thank you, members of the press. Just as it has been mentioned here, there's no need of going back into what has been talked about here. Our concern is just the way our people who are working in those areas are being exploited. We have a range of issues that we have seen several years, and the people of Kenya have been talking about this since it started way back. Because our people who are working those sides of with the western regions, have faced a lot of challenges. They have faced a lot of exploitation, frustrations, and thus leads to the people, when they come back here in the country, they don't have anything to smile of. Being outside there for several years, they don't have anything here to smile about. And that's why we are requesting, or we are demanding the government to take this into consideration, that our people who are working there, when they come back here, they should get something to smile of. And now we are kindly requesting the government agencies, especially Ministry of Labor and Ministry of Diaspora and International Cooperation, to take this matter into a very serious consideration, so that our people get back what they deserve. Thank you.